side. Barayu to preside over urgent Senate session. Wants ICPC to take over alleged sexual harassment probe. Court orders Senate President others to file defense in Natasha's suit. All right. And also we have the Naira for crude policy remains in place. Adedeji, chairman. Technical subcommittee. Over 48 million barrels of crude oil supplied to Dangote in 6 months. NNPCL. Rivers APC orders Fubara to resign within 48 hours or face impeachment. Assembly issues arrest warrant for electoral chiefs. El-Rufai joins SDP, hints at more defections to challenge APC. His ambition, inordinate, will fail presidency. Stakeholders weigh implications for APC, ex-governors, political future, northern voters. Students halt vehicular movement on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, protesting disappearance of LASU graduate. All right, those are the headlines on the cover page of Nigerian Tribune.
Now, up next is the Punch newspaper with the window headlines. Impeachment threat. Fubara vows to fight on as PDP wants Wike's men. That story is on page 2. NNPCL, Dangote Refinery, begin talks on Naira for crude contract. Page 25. That story is on page 25. Now, Provest, Promised Land Building and Construction Limited, acknowledges sex directive, begins silence processing. Okay, I think that's more like an ad. Now, just beside the nameplate, you have Natasha suspension. Senate rules out reversal. Akpabio queries sued. That story is on page 50 or 30. Now, the big story, defection to SDP. Presidency, APC knock El-Rufai. Dismiss threats to unseat Tinubu. Ex-governor, Atiku meet again. Aggrieved PDP, APC may defect. El-Rufai eyes new coalition. Why is APC worried that El-Rufai left? Now, soldiers rescue 75 civilians from Sambisa forest. I think that's the picture of the people that were rescued from Sambisa forest. Do they look like people that were inside the forest and all of that? Now, you have a bottom strip headlines. Supreme Court to decide Anyanwu's removal as PDP secretary. That story is on page 13. APC Council chairmanship aspirant hacked to death in Lagos. That story is on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. And the last but not the least, Oyetola, Adeleke's commissioner, straight words over alleged 3.7 billion naira mismanagement. That story is on page 12, and that's all from the Punch newspaper.
Okay, let's take a run on First News today. The First News newspaper, the banner headline there reads, Massacre in Ondo State. Suspected herdsmen killed over 20 farmers in brutal attack. Right after that story, gunmen invade 4 villages, leave bodies in their wake. Search for missing victims continues. And then just beside the masthead, El-Rufai jumps ship from APC captain to SDP passenger. Presidency mocks defection. Rivers APC disowns Tony Okocha, dismisses his call for Fubara's resignation. EFCC nabbed 31, including 4 Chinese for illegal mining in jails. Federal Civil Service Commission extends job application deadline to March 17. JAMB records highest ever UTME registration with over 2 million candidates. And I will have a major pictorial there to be from the Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu with newly inducted certified accreditors and key stakeholders at the launch of the Certified Accreditors Program that happened yesterday, March 10. And beneath that pictorial, no contract termination. Naira crude deal with Dangote ends in March. That's coming from NNPC. Rivers lawmakers reject Fubara's social media invitation, demands formal later. Court adjourns Natasha's suit against Senate to March 25th.
All right, then let's move away from that paper. Let's touch on another paper right now. We do have we have this day newspaper on our table this morning. Bagudu says FG has kept to 5% ways and means. Edu targets 7% annual growth. Budget minister says Tinubu appreciates Nigerian support for economic reforms. State stability in FX market. Downward trend in inflation, evidence of reforms gains. Insists security remains key challenge despite boost in oil production. Presidency, well, on top of that one, Ogunlewe condemns Akpoti Uduaghan's suspension, says her beauty is the problem. Interesting. Well, Presidency El-Rufai'S inordinate ambition that's destined to fail made him leave APC. All right, when you go further up, you have Naira for crude deal. We are renegotiating, not cancelling agreement, says NNPC. Dissolves 48 million barrels of oil supplied Dangote since October 2024. Zaka Adedeji-led committee says FG not mooling termination of deal. All right, and well, pretty much, those are the headlines that you will find on the cover page of this day newspaper.
Okay, now let's run through the Guardian quickly. With the Guardian has the window headlines: crude. NNPCL sells 84 million barrels to Dangote, denies Naira deal stoppage. Court moves hearing of Natasha's suit against suspension to March 25. And resign or be impeached, Rivers APC tells Fubara. Now the big story is on page 6, and it says, consumers groan as data depletion, exploitation complicate telcos tariff hike. Now there's a distribution of that, and it says how much internet data do you use and all of that. Opposition camps swell against Tinubu as El-Rufai dumps APC for SDP. FG, that's federal government, approves $1 billion to tackle child maternal mortality. NCDC confirms loss of UK returnee to Lassa fever as death toll hits 98. BUA, that's BOA, others defy FX crisis, post over 500 billion naira profit. Obi, others seek better approach to national security. And the bottom strip headline, promised land regularizes Provost license amid SEC directive. I'll take that again for clarity. Promised land regularizes Provost license amid SEC directive. And that's all from the Guardian newspaper.
And that's how far we can go on taking a quick peep on the national dailies today. Do well to join Chikuma and Moses Proper for the newspaper review. That'll be on top of the hour at 9 a.m. on Voice of the People television. And we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll x-ray how El-Rufai'S son, Bashiru, hints at Peter Obi joining the SDP after the father defected from APC to the Social Democratic Party. I do want to be part of today's show. Of course, we have Barrister Darlington Agomo, VOP TV in-house analyst, to help us dissect this. And joining us from our Oka station is Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu, former member, Anambra State House of Assembly. It promises to be interesting, so we'll go on a quick break, and when we'll come back, we'll kickstart this. Welcome back to VOP this morning. Bashir El-Rufai, son of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, has sparked speculation about Peter Obi's next political move. Responding to a post on X, Bashir hinted that Obi, the Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, might join the Social Democratic Party SDP. His comment comes amid growing discussions about potential alliances to challenge the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) in the 2027 elections. This development follows Nasir El-Rufai's high-profile exit from the APC, citing irreconcilable differences with the party's leadership under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The former governor, who has been increasingly vocal in his criticism, said his concerns were repeatedly ignored. Sources suggest his defection is part of a broader trend, with several political figures within the APC reportedly considering a shift to the SDP. Meanwhile, former PDP National Publicity Secretary Kola Ologbondiyan has hinted at a possible opposition coalition. Former PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has also confirmed ongoing talks to the opposition forces, though he dismisses claims of joining the SDP. As discussions intensify, political observers speculate that Atiku, El-Rufai, and Obi could form a formidable alliance ahead of the 2027 polls. We have with us in the studio, like I told you earlier, Barrister Darlington Agomo, VOP TV in-house analyst, and he's here in the studio this morning in the capacity of a political commentator and analyst. Then we also have, from our Oka studios, we have Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu, whom I told us is a former member, Anambra State House of Assembly. Good morning, Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu.
Thank
Please.
you. Good morning.
All right, good to have you in today's show. Now, let me start off with you, Honorable Ijeoma. It's interesting to know that you're there in Anambra State, where we know that Peter Gregory Obi hails from, and then we're getting this particular statement or reactions from people, including El-Rufai's son, that with the father's defection to SDP, Social Democratic Party, there will be possibility of Mr. Peter Gregory Obi jumping ship from the Labour Party to SDP. What do you have to say about this, given the fact that Obi himself said that any coalition that will lead to grabbing of power, that he should not be part of it because all he cares about at this point is for the betterment of Nigerians?
Well, politicians at every point will always look at the best way their political ambitions, and Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor, should not be left out of it. The fact that there are speculations do not confirm the move, but all the same, I don't think he's restrained by any law, from joining any party that he wishes to join. The political party is a vehicle through which anybody can achieve any political ambition. Changing Nigeria, doing anything for Nigeria, getting political office requires you using the political party as a vehicle to your destination. So the political party is very important. Anybody can change party depending on what you want to achieve, and it's giving you the correct platform for you to achieve what you want to achieve.
What do you make of this whole, jumping of ship and cross-carpeting of some bigwigs from APC and the possible major, for the 2027 election, if that actually falls through? Recall that, in 2014 or 2013, this was how the whole APC thing came to be. People left a particular party and then they form a coalition, and APC have been there since 2015 till this day. Do you see the possibility of those bigwigs like the likes of Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai, Peter Obi, if need be, and maybe Buhari Saraki and others forming another party that can push out APC?
It's a very tall task. It's a very, 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 very tedious one. Coming together. Swallowing personal ambitions, personal interests, and all the rest of them, so that the nation's interest will be foremost. It's going to be a very tough one for these to come together and form a very strong thing that will dislodge APC. You know, APC is a product of a coalition, yes, but can they do it? Will they? How will they do it? You see, the problem we have with Nigeria today is not just about political parties. It's about the attitude of people in power. It's not just about running, making efforts to grab power. It's about what is power when you have it. How do you use it to better the lives of people? How do you make sacrifices that are important in bettering the lives of people, in changing the economy of Nigeria, a better one? That is the most important thing now. And I think it is too early in time for us to be thinking about this thing when we have almost a year plus before 2027. The president should be focused, the APC should be focused on delivering the dividends of democracy they promised Nigerians. They should be focused on...
Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu, thank you very much for your submissions there. Let's bring it to the studio now. Barrister, first, is it too early for campaigning? We've seen campaigning starting already, even though some say it's illegal. And we've seen, conversations going on amongst people. And, looking at El-Rufai, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. I mean, he's the one who's in, who's in the spotlight right now, and statements made by his son. If it were possible, I would like for us to watch the video of El-Rufai making the statement that APC has left him behind, and so he's no longer seeing APC going through its progressiveness. So he has decided to move to the SDP. And then we know that he's been making movements. They've had meetings. He has met with Peter Obi. He's met with a few other individuals. Now, is SDP, are we going to see a repeat of the stunt that Labour Party pulled in 2023 with SDP? Do you think the coming together of some of these individuals, especially having in mind that Nasir El-Rufai was a founding member of the APC, but moving to the SDP now, are we going to see a replica of that movement that we've come to appreciate Labour Party for, that took place in 2023? Are we going to see the same thing repeat in 2027?
More than any time in the history of this country, it has become expedient for such a coalition. More than any time. Because what we are seeing now, if care is not taken, it may swallow everybody. So
what exactly are we talking
about? No, what we are seeing now in the name of...
Economy or what?
You said what?
The economy or the political alignment?
Everything. This administration, we don't know where they are going. Moses, we don't know where Tinubu is going. It's all about grabbing power, grabbing everything.
You don't believe those that have said he's beginning to fulfill the promises
that he made? There. We have been hearing this thing over
price of fuel coming down.
Look, we have been hearing this thing. All these things are what? The tricks to deceive the gullible. Everybody can see it.
Okay.
I analyzed it yesterday, this fuel that is coming down. You and I know. Is it the one of Dangote or the one that are imported? If they are importing the cheap fuel, who will not pay the bill at the end of the day? The 7.7 trillion naira, who are they going to pay it for? So when they bring it here and then remove the subsidy, then later they go and collect it. What is cheap here now? What is cheap?
Barrister,
so what I'm saying is, based on what you asked me, is this. There must be coalition.
There must be, most definitely.
There must, because that was how APC came into office.
Okay. Now let's take a minute. Let's watch Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Let's hear from him himself in this short video.
Behind PDP, which is one of the largest and perhaps the oldest political party in this republic, is clearly targeted for destruction. It's a matter of time. there are internal mercenaries in the PDP that have been hired, paid, or otherwise motivated to destroy the party. So the party is on its way to the grave. Okay? And it's most unfortunate because His Excellency, the former Vice President, was explaining how politicians came together, essentially, put aside their differences to drive away the military. Most of these politicians ended up in the PDP. So the PDP actually represented the best of our politicians that fought for restoration of democracy. Forget those that make the most noise, but ran away from the country. Those that went to prison, those that were detained, all ended up in the PDP. Those were the real politicians that faced the military. But today, none of the founding fathers of the PDP can recognize it. Labour Party, again, targeted for destruction. And it's almost certain, the last time I had a conversation with Peter Obi himself, he admitted to me that he doesn't know what is happening in the party that he contested for president. So there seems to be...
There you have it. With these statements, I see you agreeing, aligning with the things that El-Rufai is saying. These parties are targeted for destruction. But the man himself, Nasir El-Rufai, from antecedents, is he someone that you think Nigerians should trust? Is he someone that you think Nigerians should align with? Can he be trusted? If he could be trusted, we know that he campaigned for Tinubu to get into office. If Tinubu could trust him, why would he exempt him from the ministerial list?
See, there are no one human being that is particularly completely bad. No human being. If you are doubting me, go and read The Prince by Machiavelli. He said the end justifies the means. So, if you want to achieve a good purpose, you can use, in fact, the worst of your enemy, as long as you achieve it. God even used that principle when he told Moses, go and deliver my people in Egypt. Meanwhile, Moses was a murderer. He wasn't a nice man. He's a stammerer. But God said, go and do it. I told you, go and do it. You are the only one who can confront Pharaoh. And of course, the rest is history. Okay. So what I'm telling you now that El-Rufai, if he's the one who will do the job, why not? Because after all, he knows Tinubu like the back of his hand. They know each other. When you want to go hunting in the bush, it's not every dog you use. There is a dog for hunting. Okay. They train them especially for hunting animals in the bush. And so when you want to go and catch a game in the use that dog. He knows what to do when he enters the bush. All right.
Barrister, let me stay with you. You heard El-Rufai himself. He said that, look, the PDP has been destroyed, targeted by the APC and destroyed. Labour Party, the same thing. Now, the first question will be, what guarantee does he have that SDP will not be targeted and destroyed by
No. They know when free. Look, you see, PDP have been given a bad name. Are you getting what I'm saying? By, the people. Then Labour Party, just like you said, has been given a bad name. So SDP, I don't think...
but why don't you think, because people are leaving the same PDP and the Labour Party, and mind you, Barrister, hold on. People are leaving, people like Fayemi, are likely to leave the same APC. And all of them will now congregate within the SDP. Yeah. What guarantee do we have that they will be targeted?
Because the party, when your name is bad,
okay,
there's the likelihood that all your actions will be bad. But SDP have not been tainted with all these shenanigans.
No, but the tainted politicians are the one going to the SDP.
It is left for them now. They know whom to admit now. Okay. Like somebody like Wike, can he say he's coming to SDP? Will they allow him? I remember when the son of Sani Abacha wanted to contest in Kano, Mohammed. It was Buhari that told him, no, you can't even be a member, not to talk of contesting under APC. They drove him away now. Okay. So this SDP now, they are going to micromanage their membership.
Okay. So that now, another question is this. In all of this, do you think that if, I think someone asked that question, but I want to take another angle to it. The congregation of Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and El-Rufai, do you think that it's more like they are trying to use Obi, as as a ploy, to pull power, to wrest power from the Southwest? Is it an attempt by the North to take power from the Southwest?
Look, it's obvious the coalition, you see, when we get to the bridge, we think of crossing it. We don't know the direction they go until they have agreed and come together and then coalesce into one party called SDP. It is then you now begin to, determine who will be what, based on your followership.
Do you think they will ever agree, the three of them?
Why not? Because the situation now is to rescue Nigeria.
No, Barrister Darlington, talking about rescuing Nigeria at this point in time, Tinubu come on the mantra of Abiola that he helped in fighting for democracy. And SDP happens to be the party that won the 1993 election, just like IBB told us. So are we seeing political elements in Nigeria, like the likes of El-Rufai, who have migrated to SDP now, others trying to bring back that particular party that won the 1993 election for it to be able to, contend the tussle of power or drag the power with APC, as a case may be?
If they want to resurrect the victory of Abiola, what is wrong there? The spirit Abiola will guide them because it has been confirmed now that he won that election. So if they are using his platform to resurrect his spirit and his name, what is wrong there?
All right, then.
There's nothing wrong.
All right, I wonder how many times they will use Abiola's platform, because he ran under the mantra
of hope. The man will not rest until his victory is actualized.
He ran under the mantra of hope, and Tinubu administration ran under the mantra of renewed hope. So I wonder,
but do we have hope now? You know that.
Well, maybe we just get to sustain hope.
We probably will have sustained hope.
It's obvious that somebody is deceiving some people.
All right, let's take this conversation back to Okada, where Honorable Egwuatu is standing by. Well, Honorable, now I want to believe that you have, you've known the man Peter Obi for some time, and what are your thoughts when you consider an alignment of a Peter Obi with an El-Rufai and maybe some other individuals that would want to vie for office? Do you see a situation where Peter Obi might be a running mate? Will he be the principal, or who will be running as the vice, and who will be running as what do you see? What do you make of this possible alignment?
Well, I do not see the alignment working. How will it work? You know the antecedents of the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. He was once in Anambra during Peter Obi's tenure as governor, and one or two things happened that wasn't favorable to him. He has said a lot of things about Peter Obi's presidency, which were negative. And then now, all of it is trying to get involved with Mr. Peter Obi. If you are Mr. Peter Obi, will you be very comfortable with it?
Sorry, please. Let me take your mind.
Well.
Sorry to interrupt you at this point. Let me cast your mind back to 2023, right after the elections. We saw a situation whereby Echi, Yerima, or Shibaju all came together and said, look, everyone, they formed a group of those that were APC aspirants and said none of them will contest in 2027, so Tinubu can have a free way. But then, some years later, we've seen an Amechi travel to the northern part of Nigeria to have meetings with certain individuals and talking about an SDP alignment. So why don't you think there might be some sort of alignment afterwards, regardless of what had happened in the past?
Attention. So politicians like attention. They like being noticed. They like their names being in the field. So this traveling might not be connected to contesting the election in 2027. It's going to take a lot of things for anybody to stand against the current president in 2027. It's not just these political movements that can. It's deep reflections before anybody can stand up and say contesting for 2027. Somebody mentioned 1993 using SDP, the spirit of Abiola and all the rest of them, and I was wondering, this thing is voting, contesting presidency is deep. it's very tall. Do I call it a very big task? It's something that, you know what Labour Party did? In so many places, Labour Party had no, whatever, what we call it, the polling units, they didn't have anybody working for them in very many polling units. So introducing SDP now, how would they do it?
Same thing Nigerians said, or same thing say during the 20, and then the turnout was massive. They tagged LP, a party without a platform, but we could recall that, you know, they did wonderfully well during that general election. Now, you said something about trust, Honorable, but it's also interesting to know that Bashir El-Rufai, who happens to be the son of Nasir El-Rufai, you know, have come up to say that they never knew such a nice person. So don't you think, as the case may be, with these possible talks about coalition, that they have seen the kind of person Peter Obi is, and they're willing to throw their weight behind him, only if he accepts, you know, to be with them and the Social Democratic Party?
No, let me remind you, under you recall a lot of issues concerning the Southern Kaduna, a lot of killings, a lot of things that happened in his tenure. Do you think, I don't believe that Nasir El-Rufai really has that weight that he wants to throw behind body at this point in time. Where will he get the weight from? Where will he, what part of the country is he move to support whoever that he wants to support? How will he do that? Will they trust him? His antecedents show that a lot of people are not comfortable with his style of politics, the way he has conducted himself, even when he was governor. So the coalition working, I do not see it working.
Okay.
The kind of thing.
Yeah, Mr. Egwuatu, thanks very much. Let me stay with you. We've been talking about 2027. Let's take a little time to talk about Anambra 2025, which is happening in November, you know. And what can you walk us through what's going on in Anambra State? I mean, Valo left Labour Party and went to the APC. A lot of people say that, look, he was trying to preempt Soludo coming to APC. You know, so he wants to stop him. He wants to place the ticket. What's your reaction to that? Is it something that, was there a possibility that Soludo was about to dump APGA and move over to APC? Has it been stopped and all of that? What is it looking like in terms of and all of that in Anambra? I don't know the party you belong to anyway, but just help us understand as quickly as you can.
Okay. I don't think there is any issue about the governor moving to any other party apart from APGA is the dominant party in Anambra State. APGA is a very strong party in Anambra State, and anybody who wants for election in Anambra State must come from APGA because of its dominance. It has a very strong rooted dominance in Anambra State, and it's not easy for anybody to dislodge it. Now, on Valo Zibo moving to APC, I think he moved out from Labour Party out of frustration. You could see that Labour Party was dying by the day. In Anambra, they hold meetings, they don't have any, so many things they don't do. They are not at all. And for you to win an election in Anambra State, you have to be involved in the nitty-gritty of towns, villages. You have to be in the nooks and crannies of every part of Anambra. And APGA has that dominance. Why
okay, now sorry, Moses, does APC have that penetration? Do they have that penetration in Anambra State? Recall that the national chairman of APC is angling to take Anambra. What effort do you see on ground, you know, to give the impression that, look, what the national chairman of APC said, it might likely come to ground to suggest that APC is working towards taking Anambra State? Is there a possibility it could happen?
There is nothing close to that on ground. Whatever the national chairman said must be, imaginary things.
Don't you think that they are trying to use Valo Zibo to achieve that?
No, Valo Zibo has contested the election before, and he said against the sitting governor. And what was his score? How did he fare in his local government? If we look at this record,
thank you very much. Let's move away from Anambra State. Let's focus on the El-Rufai movement. Well, we do have, I'll be bringing this back to the barrister now. We have a response from one of the aides of now. Barrister, let's read that one. Let's have that one up on our screen. This was posted on x.com, formerly Twitter, by Daniel Buala. It says, Senior El-Rufai, I read the news today that you resigned from APC to join SDP. Well, I have nothing against you because you exercised your constitutional right. However, the motive is what we would interrogate in the coming days and remind Nigerians that you are not a phenomenon that emerged like a clap of thunder out of a blue sky. We would intellectually remind you that associating with sore losers to unseat the incumbent is not an ideology. Neither is it progressivism. It is simply an inordinate ambition that is destined to fail. Barrister Darlington, in a few seconds, because we are running out of time now, do you think the movement of El-Rufai from the APC will shake the APC? Do you think this response means that the APC is already afraid that there's something working against them? Now, as you respond to that, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Egwuatu. If there is an alignment between Peter Obi and El-Rufai, do you think a Peter Obi will probably be a VP to an El-Rufai? Because we know El-Rufai also has an ambition.
Now, let me tell you, if APC are not G3, why are they responding to El-Rufai? Let them conduct an opinion poll now all over Nigeria, and then let Nigerians give them their scorecard. It's not enough for them to say there is nothing, you can't remove an incumbent. No, it has happened all over the world. Besides, with what APC have done so far in office, it will be difficult to, except that they are planning to rig election. Moses, on what ground will any Nigeria beat his chest or her chest and say, yes, I support APC? If not, look at the off-election they did. Is it not through brigandage and violence? So when you see all these things, on what ground will APC be standing to say that they're on ground?
Okay.
Where are they on ground?
Thank you so much, Barrister. We're pressed of time, Barrister Darlington, all right. I would like you to still be with us. Also, Honorable Egwuatu also encourage you to still be with us, okay? Because we have to move over to the second topic of conversation, which is about Rivers State, where we're having APC demanding that Governor Fubara resigns, you know, as also some pro-Wike lawmakers threatened impeachment, issuing of arrest electoral chief in that state. So please do well to stay with us, gentlemen. We'll go on a quick break and we'll come back. We'll dissect this properly.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has called on Governor Similaye Fubara to resign or face impeachment by the State House of Assembly. APC Chairman Antonio Kocha, speaking at a press conference in Port Harcourt, accused the governor of multiple impeachable offenses, citing a Supreme Court ruling. While he dismissed the need for a formal investigation, insisting that the governor's alleged wrongdoings were already clear. Meanwhile, Mr. Martin's Amrehule-led faction of the Rivers State House of Assembly has issued an arrest warrant for Adolphus Enebeli, chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISEC. Well, lawmakers took action after Enebeli failed to respond to a 72-hour ultimatum to appear before the Assembly. Well, the legislators had summoned him and other RISEC commissioners to explain financial expenditures made without an approved budget since 2024. Enebeli and his team were expected to present documents on March 7, but they failed to show up. In a response, the Assembly moved forward with the arrest warrant, escalating tensions in the state's ongoing political crisis. Well, we still have in the studio here with us Barrister Darlington Agomo, and from our Alka studio, Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu. Barrister, let me start from you here. Let me start with you. APC is saying impeach, resign or we impeach you. And I'm asking, on what basis is APC saying that? I thought they said that the Supreme Court said that in control of the assembly, the lawmakers still are PDP members, all of them are still in the PDP. So what local standard does the APC have to say, look, resign or we will impeach you? Who is the we that they are talking about? Can you help us understand? And what are the legal implications if Tony Okocha is? Because I think, and a lot of people also think, that he is indirectly saying that those 27 lawmakers belong to the APC. What's your reaction?
That is it. Thank you, Mr. Okoro. You see, the contradictions in all this is what we don't understand. I'm telling you, I have advised Fubara and his government, they should take those people to court for perjury. Because they told the whole world they have defected. They swore an oath. All of a sudden, they say, no, they are no longer in APC. That is deceit. So, if they allow them to be, gallivanting from APC to PDP, from PDP to APC, it means that the governor doesn't know what to do. Left to me, I would have gone to court again. Let them come and explain with all the evidence that they did not defect. Perjury is what you say with your mouth. You said you said this thing for your speaker, your lawmaker. All of a sudden, you are saying another thing. It's deceit. So whatever they are trying to do will never work. I've said it here. Because you need to raise questions. Those questions, you will take it to the Attorney General of the state and tell them that, look, we want to impeach the governor based on this, and all this. Panel that will investigate what the legislature brought to him and see whether actually the governor committed all this offense before you can talk of impeachment. Besides, they are not yet lawmakers in River State.
No, very safe. You say they are not yet lawmakers. You could recall that Fubara called them for a meeting after he got the C2C of that Supreme Court judgment. So now, are you not saying they are no longer lawmakers of the state when the governor himself have said, come, let's have a meeting, come, let's discuss. And there with the C2C, I guess he must have seen something there that made him to reach out to the ML-led faction to say, come back, let's have a meeting.
Did they come for the meeting? They have been accusing the governor that the meeting is like a Greek gift, this and that. They too, they are not even sure of themselves. That's what I'm telling you here. The original aim is to impeach the governor, which have been in the mind of Wike and his cohorts. But it will not work. That's the truth. It will not work. It can never work. It will be an exercise in futility, because when the man now challenges it in court, they will discover that they have made a mistake. Remember Peter Obi in Anambra? Twice. Because he was not bringing money to the state assembly. The court looked at everything and said, Peter Obi, go back to your office. Twice. So it will happen in River State too. Because they will ask, what was it? The man have complied with what the Supreme Court said. Come. Based on that's why the thing is in writing, so that you cannot come and say he said it orally. So if you are going to court now against him, on what basis? The court will look at it and say, what wrong has this? He called you for a meeting, you refuse to come, only for you to come and say you have been impeaching him. Does it make sense? Nobody will listen to them now. Nobody. So they should go back and think of what to do, and not this shenanigan.
You don't think that the stalling of the 26 lawmakers under Amewule, them not being able to attend the meeting that the governor of River State called, is a way of them also making him, that's the governor now, not being able to carry out all that the Supreme Court says he should do, like paying them, representation of the budget and a whole lot?
No, it doesn't stop anything. The governor he got their
allocation has been withheld. So
it didn't stop it. When they did it in Lagos State here, it was just the local government funds. But if they are saying that River State has a lot of way to raise money, their IGR have jumped to 10 to 12 billion naira a month. So they can make do with that now. They can continue to run the government with Fubara will never lack money to pay salary.
How possible is it that a state in Nigeria that participates in generating revenue generation in this country is being, denied of the FAC allocation, and then you're saying they should make do with their internally generated revenue for them to run the activities
until
the governance?
They are saving their money for them. Until this matter will remain in the custody of CBN, but eventually it will be resolved, either now or after 2027. But it will never stop governance in Rivers State because the facts are there. They cannot impede the government. Remember, as I talk to you today, there is division in Okocha. Some of them are telling him that he should jettison the idea of impeachment, that he has no power to do that he's talking on his own. It was in the paper this morning. So if they are even divided among themselves, so how can they not carry out impeachment? So it's an exercise in futility. Let's be deceived. The stages of impeachment, they cannot go through all of them and succeed. It can never happen. So why did they want to try?
Barrister, if you say that they cannot succeed through the series of impeachment, haven't you seen how governors were impeached in this country? Do you think it can't happen again? Democracy is so matured that we're able to, cut off all those impurities.
I gave you an example of P2B. It is when you said, okay, because they said it, therefore you agree. But if you go to court to challenge it, on what basis will you now say it as you have succeeded?
Barrister, you see the role the courts have played in all of this since the Rivers imbroglio started. We have had conflicting judgment from the moment the governor gets a court judgment from Port Harcourt, Rivers State High Court. We see a federal high court in Abuja issue a conflicting judgment. If you put all of these things together, why do you still rule away the fact that there is a possibility that the governor could even be impeached outside Rivers State?
It cannot happen because there is state of
but it has happened before.
Because of that time, now the people concerned, they were sleeping on their rights. The example I gave you about P2B in Anambra, you are not looking at that. Was it not a court that said he should go back to his job? After looking at impeachment is not a child's play. It's not a tea party. There must be serious allegation that can be proven before it can hold. So these people, if the court now discover that these people are on a frolic whatever.
Which court are you talking about?
The Nigerian court. Are you telling me that all of a sudden, because some people committed infraction somewhere, all our courts are no longer valid or useful to us? No, tell me. All the courts cannot be the same now. When Nnamdi Kanu cried out about the judge managing his case or presenting his case, didn't they change the judge for him? Didn't they? So what are you saying? That one or two things happen, you cannot come and tell me here that we throw away all our courts.
So the governor should go shopping for a court that will give him favorable judgment.
No, it doesn't require that. Let them even carry out the threat first. Then you now see.
Okay, he should wait for them to carry out the threat.
What will he do? He has invited them for a meeting, they refuse. Will he force them to come for a meeting? No, tell me, these are the things that will count against them when they go to court. Yes, it will count against them.
Barrister Darlington, let's bring in Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu into the conversation. Honorable, part of the conversation thus far, what do you have to say about this back and forth in Rivers State and the fact that APC, have come up to issue an ultimatum to the sitting governor in Rivers State saying that he should resign or rather face impeachment? What right does APC have to make that call?
The APC chairman. And I was wondering whether he's owning the 27 lawmakers. He's showing clearly that the lawmakers are members of the. And I wonder what really is the primary aim on things that would show they represent a group of people. They should go back to their communities, to their constituents to know what they really want. I don't think this is what the constituents to cause problems in the state. Moreover, impeachment is a very tedious process. One of the criteria in impeachment is that the House will serve the governor in person. The impeachment, whatever, should be served to the governor in person. This is one. There are so so many processes involved in an impeachment that
All right.
difficult for them to
We're
pay.
having a problem with the audio of Honorable Egwuatu now, but we'll rectify that and come back to you, Honorable Egwuatu. Let's bring you back to the studio now. Barrister Darlington, we're talking about the legality of things here. Yesterday we talked about how the governor wrote a letter to the Rivers State House of Assembly, the functional Martin Samewole-led House of Assembly, now via social media. And, he wants to talk about seating arrangement. I mean, a place for them to sit. Should the governor be trying to, go to seat? Haven't they been seating ever since? I mean, they've had a place that they've been using to seat. Do you think that was a ploy to have them, have some sort of pleading with them to give him, time to govern the state peacefully?
Three points of discussion, the agenda. You just pick that of sitting arrangement. Of course, where have they been sitting? As people who have gone rogue, they wouldn't have a place to sit that is belong to the government of Rivers State. That was why that thing was put.
Place ever since.
Sorry?
They've been somewhere ever since.
Hey, that place, it cannot be a government approved place. The man now said, look, we want a proper place where they will be recognized so that whatever law they pass there will be valid. What is wrong with that? That means they prefer this illegal place they are staying that may not even be recognized under the law.
What's illegal about it? I thought anywhere the mace is a place to sit.
Okay, why have they not been functioning since this thing was going on? What have they done? What have they done since they left that they say they defected? That you will say now it has stopped governance in Rivers State or it has impacted on governance in Rivers State? Nothing. They are just lazing about. So they are no, even they themselves, they know that they made a very big mistake. They know. I said since they left where they were before, where they were elected, what have they achieved? Nothing.
You don't think that was because of the court case going on at the time? And now that they've been affirmed.
Exactly. That's what I'm not telling you, that yes, they know that there is a court case. Even as of today, they cannot beat their chest and say, look, the court have ruled on their defection. Nobody can come and tell me that. The CTC we got, it didn't say, because that is any time that matter is decided, that word must be there for it to have effect. Reinstate these people that say they defected. Now be subject to interpretation. That is the truth. The court did not say so in the CTC that is available to everybody now. So what are they even saying?
All right. Barrister, sorry, please. Barrister, APC is saying based on the representation of the budget to the Martin Samewole-led House of Assembly, which the governor has not done, that is an impeachable offense. I mean, he hasn't done that, Barrister. You're shaking your head in disagreement.
He called them for a meeting so that this thing may be straightened out.
Now, with the APC saying that, look, the governor should be impeached, they are hinging that statement on the fact that one of the things is that he has not presented 2025 budget to the Martin Samewole-led House of Assembly. The Martin Samewole-led House of Assembly has also said, look, send your commissioners whom we have not screened to us. Now, they've also invited RISIAC officials to come and see them. And we've seen some resignation in that regard. Some individuals, about 3 of them, have resigned.
These are not part of the pronouncement in the judgment.
You don't think these are things that are shifting the political ground in Rivers State?
They are the one creating this problem because the court did not give these conditions.
They being who now? The lawmakers?
The lawmakers, yes. There was nothing like that in the judgment. The court was specific on what they want the governor to do. And he's trying to do them, but you are frustrating it. You are frustrating him. So what do you want the man to do?
But Barrister, if you said you're frustrating it, how possible is it? Because we could recall that the Amewule-led faction gave 72 hours ultimatum to, the Research Commissioner, Enebeli, to come before them to tell them how he spent the state money without proper, allocation and all that. And then, and that should be on the 7th of March. But yesterday, the time elapsed, and they've actually issued out arrest warrants for this particular man.
On what ground will he do that? He has no power to do what he did.
They said he spent state resources without appropriation
in the conduct of the elections.
January 2024.
And now the election has been nullified by the court. So, what did he conduct the election or not? He did. So, it's a different matter entirely.
The state money, state funds were spent. And they're saying without approval.
No, nobody can go through that route because the governor was behind them. It is the state matter. It is independent state electoral commission. It's the state. The governor is the chief secretary of the state.
Because they are questioning the validity of the management of that approval and management of the 2024 budget, which didn't pass through them.
For when you are recognized, when you are not in office, that you can begin to talk about this.
Are they out of office?
They are. As of today, even there they say they know.
So you seem to be the only one that think that they are out of office. They are operating like they're still in office.
No, they are, but you can see the results. You can see the results.
The result is that they are holding the governor by the jugular.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just your own perception. They themselves, they are not even...
So what is the reality?
The reality is that they are not even certain of their position because their matter is pending in court.
So there's a high level of uncertainty in Rivers State.
Their matter is pending in court.
And they're issuing out ultimatum.
Sorry?
And they're issuing out ultimatum.
That's what I'm saying. You can go on a frivolous statement and all that. You want to claim that you are in power. Meanwhile, you are not. It's natural, it's normal. They know themselves because their matter is pending in court. That matter have not been decided upon. So whatever they are doing now is null and void as far as I'm concerned. And I'm asking the governor or government of Rivers State to take these people to court for perjury.
Now, Barrister, do you think that the whole issue of Rivers State could conglomerate? Because a certain group of people, I think militants, have said that, look, if anything happens to Fubara, we'll go back to the trenches
of course. Is that not what they were expecting before? Because, look, injustice to one is injustice to everybody anywhere. What's going on in Rivers State? Everybody can see that is injustice against this governor. Everybody have seen it.
Some people have. I think at a certain time there was a Tucano jet that a Tucano paid for, to help in fighting of insecurity in parts of the Niger Delta. I can't recall, but somebody said something in that direction. Does it look like he was prepared for what is coming?
No, I don't think so. Why? You can't deploy such a force now without the federal government. It's not the commander-in-chief. What I'm saying is that this...
we have Tompolo now. Tompolo has all these...
So this guy can cause problem. If they did it under Buhari, they could do it under Tinubu. It's left for him to put on his thinking cap. In fact, with what El-Rufai is doing now, there's nothing stopping them to go and stoke fire there and support those boys. Let me see where you are going to drill the oil again. These are the things Tinubu should have been circumspect in dealing with. When they say master strategy, I didn't see any strategy here. Because if you know that place is a cash cow, he shouldn't have been creating this problem in Rivers State.
Is it Tinubu that creating the problem?
Who else? When they brought it, I told you here that, look, a government that wants peace in this country couldn't have done what he did. I told you here what Yar'Adua did when he came into office. From when he handed Obasanjo handed over to him. That was the problem in Anambra. The man immediately he gave ultimatum to Andrew but to leave office because the Supreme Court have nullified his election, but he was still there because Obasanjo is supporting him. Yar'Adua came in and said, "My friend, leave that place." And he gave him in fact, the man was in a hurry to leave Oka government house when P2B was driving in to take over his place. So why couldn't Tinubu tell Wike?
That's the question that Nigerians are asking. But now, Barrister,
why couldn't he?
Let's go back to our cast studios where we have Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu still standing by. Honorable, let's get your opinion on this, and also we'd like you to tell us, what do you make of the Martin Amewule-led faction, giving ultimatum that expired, 72 hours ultimatum that expired yesterday, and now they've issued warrant of arrest for the River State, electoral commissioner. What do you have to say about all this, happening now?
What they are doing is just a mere grandstanding. The 27 lawmakers have a fundamental issue of whether they are members of the House of Assembly or not. And part of it is in court. I'm not fully abreast with the issues that were determined by the Supreme Court recently, but I'm aware that their resignation from PDP and the vacancy that is accruing from it is before a court of law. So they know that what they are doing is mere grandstanding to keep the governor on his toes. They cannot achieve anything that. The best they can do is to sit down with the governor and look at what is best for River State. They cannot achieve anything with this. I am very sure of that. The governor has enormous power, goodwill, and it's going to be very, very difficult for lawmakers to, stampede him like that and cause so much crisis as they wish to do.
How enormous is the governor's? All right, go ahead.
My advice, I will come to that. My advice is that the proper thing for representatives to do is to go back to their constituents at what really they want. This is about Rivers people. It's not about the ego of Amakwele and the 27 people as individuals. It's not about their ego. It's not about their individual thinking. It's about the people they are representing. What do the people who they are representing want from them at this point? They should go back to their people and ask questions. They should hold town hall meetings and ask the people, what really do you want? Look at the situation we are in. What do you want us to do? What do you want me to do? Ask your representative. It's an individual race. It's the same people they will go back to and ask for their votes. So they should know what their opinions are. And the governor has enormous powers. Like I said, the law allows the governor to spend a certain percentage of the previous budget, if there is an issue. I think for 6 months or thereabout. I'm not sure of the length of time. There are IGR that come from whatever within the state. So the governor has enormous resources to, do a lot of things for communities. The governor can decide to begin to do special development areas is relevant in their constituency. So the governor can do a lot. They should go back and sit down and find the best tool for Rivers people. My concern is the people of Rivers State. What is it about the people? What is it about the people? It is the people you are representing. What is their thinking about this? Were you voted into power to begin to impeach governor? What benefit to the people?
All right, then. Thank you very much, Honorable Egwuatu Ejiofor. Well, thank you very much for your thoughts there. I think the issues in Rivers State is persistent, and we'll keep our eyes on it and see how things turn out in the coming days. A major concern for Nigerians is the safety of Nigerians residing in Rivers State, because non-state actors are threatening to, cause to pick up arms and bomb pipelines and do things that will affect the economy of Nigeria. But let's see how things play out. We'll keep our eyes definitely on activities in Rivers State. Now let's move on to another conversation. Over 7 million businesses shut down in Nigeria during Tinubu's 2 years as economy struggles, says Nigerian Economic Research Group. Well, in a bit, we'll look at the research itself. Well, let's just dive into it without wasting time. Nigeria's economic downturn has forced the closure of about 7.2 million businesses between 2023 and 2024 under President Bola Tinubu's administration. The Nigerian Economic Research Group, NESG, reports that the country lost an estimated 94 trillion naira due to businesses shutting down and multinationals' divestment. NESG chief economist Dr. Segun Omishakin revealed these figures during the launch of the 2025 Private Sector Outlook Report, warning that unfavorable economic conditions have led to the collapse of nearly 30% of micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs. Rising inflation, high operational costs, and economic instability have left entrepreneurs struggling to keep their businesses afloat. Many have been hit hard by surging fuel prices, transportation costs, and overall inflation, making daily operations unsustainable. Well, business owners and stakeholders are urging the government to take immediate action to stabilize the prevent further closure. Well, 94 trillion naira, that's a huge amount. Well, the NESG report stresses the need for urgent policy reforms, investment incentives, and improved infrastructure to revive the private sector. Now, experts also warn that without strategic intervention, Nigeria could face continued business shutdown, capital flight, and deepening economic challenges. Well, Barrister Darlington, 94 trillion naira estimated losses from businesses shutting down in Nigeria from 2023 up until how bad is this really? But let's also juxtapose this with the fact that before the Tinubu administration came into office, certain businesses had left. Emirates Airline was one of those that left, but he was able to get Emirates back into Nigeria. So, can we be fair enough? This administration, by your assessment, have they fared terribly, seeing that there are things playing out in the world stage, the Hamas, Israel, Ukraine, Russia conflict, and those other things playing out in the world has affected economies around the world. Is it peculiar to Nigeria? Your thoughts?
We are not the only country in this world. Other countries are moving forward, except Nigeria, even though we are a member of OPEC. Name me one OPEC member that is going through what we are going through today. Can you mention one? All of them are leveraging on this crude oil to better the lives of their people, except Nigeria. Is it not curious? Tinubu told us that with the removal of fuel subsidy, we'll overcome all these challenges and all that. Then we discovered that he's paying subsidy. He's even borrowing money to shore it up. So on what basis will you now say we should be fair to him? When we just discovered that he had lied to us. I mean, lie. Have anybody come to explain to where that 7.7 trillion naira is going? And what was the need or the reason for it? Please, have anybody come to tell us? The answer is no. Yesterday, they said the fuel import have jumped to 15 trillion naira. Import again. When you look at all this, please, can you just say no, the answer is capital no. Moses, the greatest undoing of this administration was this NEPA tariff. And you know that every businesses, they need like power. Power. Most of business have shut down because of this power. They can't pay. The Air Force people couldn't pay their own. That's why they shut their facility down. Air Force. And that's the military facility. They shut down. So imagine ordinary businesses who cannot pay. Do they have the muscle to go to the office of a PSCN and start disturbing them? The answer is no. They will quietly close shop and go home. Have you heard of the amount of money people are paying for power? And that is the major input in any business. I mean, major input, raw material they need to function. You have just taken it out of them. And you want them to continue in business. It's not possible.
Barrister, how much of these rely on? How much of it should we trust? Because last year, it's on record, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, that we had a foreign direct investment inflow of $30 billion. So if we are getting $30 billion between, I think that was as at November last year, how come they are talking about losing 94 trillion naira? How did that happen? By divestments by companies and people that left this country. Doesn't it look like as others are leaving, some are coming?
The ones that are coming, look at where they are coming to invest. These are portfolio investors. That is briefcase investors. They come and buy shares in our banks. It's our bank that are buying shares. So get it. That's why they out trillions and trillions of profit.
It doesn't matter. And the banks are funding the manufacturing sector.
No. They are not, because they are not even borrowing money at the rates, at the interest rate. How many? If they are borrowing this money, they would have been working now.
Who would have been working?
The companies. They would have been in business now.
The companies are in business.
No, they are not.
The other time they said they had about how much trillion of net of goods. That means they were in business producing.
No, that is, you are just explaining it now. They said those goods are unsold.
No, because Nigerians don't have the purchasing power, but they didn't stop them from manufacturing.
No. Hold on, no. If that goods were not sold, please, will they continue to manufacture?
And they kept manufacturing.
No, they didn't. They did. That's why they closed shop. That's why they closed shop now. Those goods have not been sold. That's why they closed shop. How can you be manufacturing something that nobody's buying? Will you be in business? Will you pay salary? You just finish the matter now. They are not in business. That's why they close shop. It's as simple as that. Nobody can borrow at that rate in the bank. Nobody.
We are talking about businesses that left. We are talking about the ones that remained and kept producing. Does it mean that Nigerians are no longer buying all of these things? The markets are filled up every day. I want us to be realistic. Let's move away from perception and now put it in the domain of reality.
Good.
What is happening?
Have the prices of your goods, have it come down? That's in reality, not artificial. In reality, has it come down?
Well, I understand that prices of yam and rice, bags of rice is come down from 110 to 85,000 naira. Imported rice and all of that. Isn't that some form of... is it not sharing news?
No,
something that we should share
reality,
about?
You know, yesterday, when we were discussing about what this northern man said about opening the border and bringing in food to undermine the northern agricultural produce, you remember? Yes. And I asked them, what were you doing before this thing happened? So if we are importing food now to make up for the shortfall, is that your product? No, those things you are importing, is it your own? It's not your own. You imported it. You imported it, so you cannot use it to tell me that things are getting better. No.
Okay, Barrister. Let's get your opinion of Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu now. In this conversation, Honorable, what do you have to say about this report by the NESG, given the fact that today on one of the national dailies, Daily Independent to be precise, it has the banner headline there today reads "Investors interested in our economy, prices falling." And that is coming from the president as the Nigerian economic downturn, according to what the Nigerian Economy Research Group wrote out today, that 7.2 million, businesses left Nigeria between 2023 and 2024, just 2 years of this president's administration in office.
Well, I'm not surprised that we're hearing that businesses are closing because if you look at the level of insecurity in the country, across the northeast, north central, and all the rest of the country cannot thrive in such a situation, in such a condition. I remember as a youth corper in those days, I used to do a night travel from Kano with some materials that I sell in the east here. Once in night travel and bring down those goods and I sell them. Such things cannot happen again now. You can imagine big businesses, small businesses cannot survive. How can the big businesses survive? So these businesses will not survive because, one, there is so much insecurity. Who will come to buy? How will they go and sell? Where? People go on the road, anywhere they are moving around, people get attacked, people are killed, and what happens is that the authorities do the killing and the killing. So you see, this kind of thing will not allow any business to thrive. Aside that insecurity, you look at power. Power has been very consistent. Collapse of and all the rest of them. How can these businesses survive? So it's not a surprising thing. What I see is that if we don't sit down to find a way to tackle this insecurity in a very thick manner. We can't be sure of any more businesses coming up. People can start up something, and once they have one or two of their staff kidnapped or one or two issues happening, they will shut down and go away again. So we need to tackle the insecurity. It's very important. You can see what is happening in Anambra State today. What the governor has done is to take back insecurity to the people, to the communities. It has become a collective responsibility of every member of the village, the kindred, the family, the small units to be part of the security network of the whole Anambra State. And we are seeing results. I think this should get into the bigger picture in Nigeria so that we'll take it down. It is not possible. Security determines everything, every other thing that happens in the community, in the state, and in the country in general. That's my take on that.
Ijeoma Egwuatu for your submission. Barrister Darlington, we're still talking about what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said today, how investors are interested in Nigeria and how they, because of the price that is being crashed and all that. Now, Barrister Darlington, how possible is it? We know that every economy, the MSMEs or the SMEs, holds forward because they have the larger number of people who are active in that sector. How possible is it for our economy to keep on growing to the point that we're going to woe in or bring in foreign direct investors when 7.2 million businesses are out of operation?
It is left for you and I to go and use my microscope and then look behind the news and see which one is the truth. It's not enough for you to say things. Look at what is going on. Does it reflect what you are saying? The answer is no. All these things that whenever they feel like they will come and throw one good news to you, and you not say this thing, is it really true? On what basis will anybody be trooping into Nigeria where there is insecurity, for God's sake? That's the first thing.
Barrister, let's interrogate the fact that the president, do you think the president is not aware of some of these things that we're talking about? Because the reason I ask that question is a statement that the president made yesterday at the National Youth Congress Planning Committee that was held at the council chambers in the presidential villa, Abuja, where the president, addressing the public, said, look, I had to remove fuel subsidy to protect the future of unborn generation. And we are still deliberating on whether or not subsidy has been removed. And then we have seen the effects of the removal of subsidy, which basically resulted in high cost of living and companies moving out of Nigeria. Is it that the president is not aware that these things are happening, or is there something else? Is there another economy that he's referring to? Do we have two Nigeria now?
The way you put
economies?
No, it's the same economy. He's telling gullible Nigerians, those Jews who came before him, will any of them challenge what he said? No. He gathered them to brainwash them into believing that, yes, he's making something good for them. That's the truth. Mostly, remember, you are owing over 142 trillion naira debt. Is it not the same you that will pay it? Because as they are growing up, those debts will be there for them to pay it. And this is the man who said that he's doing it for their own good, though. You have taken away my future. You have taken away my destiny. And you are still telling me that whatever you are doing is for my own good. How? That money, except Nigeria finish paying that money, we will never make progress. Don't deceive you. It can never happen. So which youth are now you now saying you are doing? Meanwhile, the same subsidy is on record now that subsidy is being paid for. Those youths will not ask him, but Mr. President, look at what we saw in the paper the other day, that somebody is going to collect 7.7 trillion for subsidy. How did that come about? Nobody will ask him. Nobody will ask him. So why will I now believe him? in what he's saying.
Barrister, countries that are indebted to World Bank and IMF are also making progress. Why shouldn't Nigeria make progress?
Really? So because of those people?
No, but based on what you say, that until we finish paying that money, that we can never make progress.
Because we are bad borrowers. Nigeria government are bad borrowers.
Okay, what if we turn a new leaf?
Turn it first. Mr. Okoro, turn it first. Because we waited here for 8 years of Buhari. The same thing they told, that's why it's paining me. I don't know why, how many times would they deceive Nigerians for God's sake? How this we are hearing that, do you not hear it under Buhari? Don't worry, you see this hardship, it will soon be over. Hey, kiniko. We waited though, we under grinding hardship until Buhari finished with us and left for 8 years. And you mean we don't have brain again or what? That we should be, everybody that come, hey, don't worry, it's for your own good. We are building a new Nigeria.
No, but this administration was very clear when they said they were going to continue from where Muhammad Buhari started. And Nigerians voted them in.
So that is it. You now ask yourself, did we actually vote for them? That is it. These are the issues now. A man who told you that you will go to continue your hardship and you are still believing him. When will Nigerians say, okay, this is an administration that came to better our life? Oh? When? Everybody that come, we are building something new. We start afresh. This time, nobody have asked Buhari, come and account for what you did in office for 8 years. Nobody. And you still want me to believe that they are telling the truth. No. Whenever he feel like he will just throw up one good news and people will run with it. You now ask yourself, this thing they said now, is it true? That's the first thing. This thing that this man said, that is it true? It is when you discover that you say, okay, yeah, something is happening here. The fuel subsidy, is it not enough for you and not to be angry, Mr. Okoro? No, tell me. This fuel now that everybody, he removed subsidy, did he actually remove it? I have made this analysis here. Go and check. Who is now collecting that subsidy money? Which company? Which company?
Mr. Darlington, there's no fuel subsidy payment. What we're paying is shortfall and all that. You know, that's what we
are you serious? Short what?
So tomorrow, the president and the team, they keep on saying we're not paying subsidy. Subsidy is gone.
Shortfall from where?
2023. Now, Barrister, let's get your concluding thoughts. You know, you can do well to touch, you know, the 3 topics that we discussed today. Touch on all the 3 topics, please.
Nigerians, wake up. If there is a coalition that will save us from this hell, please join it to save Nigeria. Because if you don't, after 2027, it will be worse. So, because remember, in 2019, Buhari told us that he's coming for the next level. We thought maybe the next level is to now, you know, turn a new leaf and better our life. It became worse after 2019. The same thing is happening here. All this thing about talk, no action. If they ask you now, where is this economy going? Where is Tinubu going? Do you know? No direction. Nothing. So why will I follow you when I know that you're not going anywhere? We must wake up and then save ourselves from this mess. I'm not joking. You can see it. The only agenda I see here is to grab everything. Grab everything and put that, be in control of the military, the police, the National Assembly, the judiciary, and now our taxes. Very, 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 very dubious way of doing things. What is it called? Remita have been doing so well. All of a sudden, a new body will now take over from Remita. Tell me what is wrong with Remita. Nobody told you. Nobody told us that Remita failed us, so they are not doing well. So you don't want to bring your own tax net. So that at the end of the day, everything will not be in your control. Please, is that how somebody who wants to better your life behaves? Tell me. Are you waiting until they tell you to start paying tax for breathing? When you wake up in the morning, you pay tax for breathing fresh air.
Thank you so much, Barrister Darlington, for your submission. Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu, please let's get a concluding thought as we wrap up.
Okay, I didn't hear you. My last words are these. Nigerians should be careful of the they want to form a coalition that will save Nigeria. These are the same things we heard that dislodged Jonathan, and has anything been better? What happened after Jonathan left? The same people are gathering, more people are gathering today, and announcing another coalition, head of this world coalition. We should be wary of this. Let us not be used again. Everything that concerns the economy of Nigeria, the future of Nigeria must be tabled down and this well. We need to understand the nitty-gritty of everything anybody will do before we say we are aligning with anybody. Nigerians should wake up and listen and sure of whoever that is doing anything. These things are what happens once the elections are coming up. People come up with so many ideologies that at the end of the day, you don't see them happening.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu, for being part of today's show. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the show. We've been speaking with Barrister Darlington Agomo, VOP TV in-house analyst, and Honorable Ijeoma Egwuatu, former member, Anambra State House of Assembly. Thank you for being part of today's show. And here's where we draw the curtain on VOP this morning, today being Tuesday. I am Fina. Okay, Chico, do well to enjoy the rest of your day and be a patriotic citizen. Also, join the newspaper review proper with Chukuma and Moses on top of the hour at 9 a.m. here on Voice of the People Television.
All right, I am Moses Humphrey. God bless Nigeria. Join us again at 9.
And I am Chukuma Okoro. Bye for now.
From the views on the street